Hey guys, Zerial here, and today I'm starting a new series. And as some might know, I play D&D. I am that nerd, and I am a proud member of that. And so today, what I was wanting to do is just go through one of the builds I was thinking up in my head, and if y'all like it, let me know, and we'll do more on it. And if y'all have a build on an idea of a build that y'all want me to explore, want me to go in and see what's up, let me know. Like and subscribe, and I will try and get to it. But today, we're doing something that's interesting, almost kind of banned, depending on the game. Now, as you know, DM has absolute and final say, so check with him to make sure this is even going to be viable in your game. I think that's true for no matter what build you use. You know, uh, some games just much rather prefer that Tasha's book just doesn't exist. So, again, like I said, make sure you have the going ahead and clear for it. And speaking of Tasha's, everything in this build is going to be in Tasha's. Everything from the race, class, all of it. So with that, and we're all going to be doing this in my own uh, uh, R20 or Roll20 account, and we will get started. And what is that said? Let's roll. All right, so let me make sure it's all working perfect. Now here's the thing. Like I said, everything's in Tasha's cauldron to everything. And for our race, we're actually going to do a build that I call the Spiked Wall Defender. You'll understand here why. So for our race, we're actually going to go first for the Warforged. All right. As you know, Warforged get con 2 plus whatever else you want. So we're actually going to go with intelligence. Now, here's the thing. We're going to be very stat spread. Alignment doesn't matter. I always choose true neutral, simply because of the fact that even I don't know which way my character is going to go when I play. Skill proficiencies, I always go with, especially for uh, robotic, I always like to think of, you know what? They are what they are. Those bastards are Terminators. So I like to go with, oh, where is it? Medicine, because detailed fires on human anatomy. And for tool proficiency, because we are indeed Warforged, and if we're going for a Terminator thing, then there's nothing better than the Smith's tools for repairs. Languages, Dwarven seems good because we automatically know Common, so why not? Dwarvish, just thematically awesome. All that Greek groovy stuff. Now for class, we are going Artificer. And yes, I say it that way, get over it. Skill proficiencies, we're going with Perception because, cybernetic guys in a neural net processor. And we're also going to go with history. You know, Google is a thing in the Terminator universe, believe it or not. And for tools, since we already have smiths, we're actually going to go with wood carvers. That it's just, again, thematically, if we don't have a full cybernetic body, wooden will need repairs too. All that neat groovy stuff. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. Ability score, we're just gonna go with standard array. And here's the counterintuitive part. Yes, we want a high intelligence. That will play out later. But what we also want is a high dex and or not even high, even, a 13 in strength and dex. The 12, 13, 14 range. But what we're actually going to do is going to put dex out of 14, strength 13, con 12, dump the rest with what you got. So 10 and Terminators are not the most charismatic. I mean, just look at the T-800 that was sent in the first Terminator. Background. It doesn't really. Nothing really says, you know, straight up Terminator. But the closest thing we do get, I guess, is Soldier. And we're just going to roll for these. For the actual whatnots. Playing cards because poker. And we're just going to. These are set to fit whatever you choose for your game. So I just rolled for them and whatnot. Now, equipment, straight up class equipment. Now, here's this really doesn't make much of a difference. It really doesn't. In fact, the only thing that does is maybe if we can get a shield, just make things so much easier. And we're just gonna go index. And why not Great Club? Why not? Studded leather or scale? We want to go up as high as we can, so we just go straight scale it. And deck of cards, because poker. The cantrips you really want are mending, because yes, and because of the subclass we're going to choose, we're actually going to go with where is it? No, Booming Blade. Now, here's the fun part. The level 1 spells for this build are going to be instrumental, mainly for a few things. One, Identify has to be one of our best. And Cure Wounds just for self-healing. Sanctuary for our purposes is going to be instrumental. And we're also going to go with, False Life just for that temporary HP boost, which is awesome. Now, here it is. We have a fairly decent build. Awesome. Don't care about all that. That's, again, all dependent on what you choose and whatnot. Now, here's the fun part. This character will apex quickly and just stay that way. So, level 2, we're get a whole bunch of new stuff. Now, we're just going to roll. Awesome. What do we get? Yeah. 5 HP. That's average. Next, here's where we have to really set ourselves up. First off, replicate magic item. Second level. And here's one that's really gonna make things just smooth line for us because we're choosing the arm blade. It is an attunement item, but even here it says weapon type, any one-handed melee weapon. It's a common thing, and requires attunement, but it's Warforged only. And Arm Blade is a magic weapon that attaches to your arm, becoming inseparable for as long as you are attuned to it. To attune to it, you must hold it against your forearm for the entire attunement process. As a bonus action, you can retract the arm blade into your forearm or extend it from there. While it is extended, you can use the weapon as if you were holding it, can and you can't use that hand for other purposes. Also, remember, you can't use the hand while the blade is extended. And that will come into play later. But it doesn't, all it says is any one handed weapon. Now, thematically, I like to look at, characters like Baraka from Mortal Kombat, who has those swords in his wrist, and they function a lot like that. Now, for our next infusions, we're going to take the classics: enhanced defense for that +1 to our armor, and enhanced weapon. Da, da, da. And for our last one, it can really be any of them. But you know what? Just for placeholder, I'm actually going to go with repeating shot because I love that one. Okay, screw you, Mr. Ammo Counter. Great, awesome spells, cantrips, Now here, again, these kind of pretty much depend on what you think you'll need for your uh, game. For me, I'm going to choose Featherfall, Alarm, Jump is a good one. I know a lot of people shit on it, but the way we're headed, it's going to come in pretty hefty, as well as Expeditious Retreat. Awesome. And we go on. Level 2, going into now, once we hit level 3, not much happens here. But we do get our speciality. And for this build, we are choosing Armorer. Simply because of a lot of things. The Armorer is basically the Artificer split of Fighter and Wizard. And it does it pretty goddamn well. Now, a couple of things have happened. So, right tool for the job, we can change a Thieves tool into any tool we are proficient for. Tools of the trade, I gain proficiency with heavy armor. That's going to be beautiful for us. Then we get another tool proficiency for this one so we can keep on going. We're going to go with leather workers. So now we can repair the weapons and armor of everyone in our party. Arcane armor, that's just a lot. Depending on what role you're going to want. But we're actually taking guardian armor. And what that's done is gives us the ability to use the Thunderfist weapon, which is an intelligence based weapon that we are proficient with, and on hit gives that target disadvantage on any target other than you. So it's pretty much forcing them to attack you. Keep that in mind. So next up, spells meh. Okay, Fairy Fire is a good one if you can cast it and then charge into battle. Long Strider increases your speed. Detect Magic is always a good one to get, and I always like Tasha's Cossack Bruce simply because damage over time AoE type thing. Yep. Awesome. Done. And all right, level 3, we already had an AC of 17, and we haven't even taken into account uh, our infusions yet. We haven't gotten to that point. We'll do that at the end of the episode. So again, we don't have the highest hit points, but honestly, in 5th edition, the only hit point that really counts is that last one. And again, even that might not be significant if we can do this right. So level 4 comes up and we get an ASI. And again, here's the counterintuitive part. Because we're going to increase. We are not going to stat instead. No, we are going to go for a feat. And it bring up. And I believe what we want is actually Shield Master. Now I want you to look at this. If you take the attack, you can knock someone, you can shove a person to 5 thing. Awesome. If you aren't incapacitated, you can add your shield's AC bonus to any dex saving throw to make against a spell or other harmful effect that targets only you. Awesome. But here's the one we want. If you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw, you only take half damage. You can use your reaction to take no damage if you succeed. Now that 14 dex ain't looking so bad, is it? Because you put the shield in front of you and you take no damage. So now let's look at this. We already have an unmodified 17 armor class. Now we also have a fairly decent dexterity, meaning this right here could just negate anything on you, depending on the roll. Awesome, we're at 13 hit points. And we got more spells. Like, they're just going to make us choose them all, aren't they? So Detect Magic's always good. If you can pull it off, Disguise Self is nice. Grace is good. Yeah, whatever. So we just got them all. By level... What, we're going into level 4? Yeah. Awesome. Building character. Awesome. Thank you. Now, going into level 5. I don't think anything really good happens here. You get extra attack as a subclass feature. See, this is where we start to get our martial prowess. Because now you get 2 attacks and nothing to really use your bonus action on. So here's what I like to do is come in Thunder Fist. And right there and then, if that hits, there's disadvantage for that target on anyone but you. That's awesome. And then for that second attack, you just use your bonus action and sling that sword forward right into their face. And that's the bonus action and the attack. So you get a very good straight up haymaker and just insult to injury. But yet we also have our second level spells now. And there's one on here that just makes this even more horrifying. And that's this little bastard here, Blur, because it gives disadvantage on anyone trying to attack you. So now, once you've Thunder Fisted and you have this active, the target just has disadvantage on everybody. So this is without a doubt, a pretty. You have to think this thing out quick. But I also choose Levitate simply because, yes, heat metal is pretty much demanded, and invisibility can make this even better. Dark vision would help because, Warforged do not have natural dark vision. So there is that. Now, armor level 5. Awesome. Still, we've got all of our bases set. There is very little that would, again, given dice, level 5 with, let's modify this right now because that's a 18 armor class, half damage on AoEs that we fail to save, and no damage on the ones we do save. So right there and then, that's awesome. And we haven't even gotten into the optional gear. Well, I shouldn't say optional, simply because it is necessary, but you don't have to start out with it for this to be an effective defender. No, to make this truly just a what the fuck thing, all you need is a simple shield. Yeah, it helps if I spelled it right. And I'm not talking, anything extravagant, just a basic one that you can get for like 5 gold. Because that right there just gave us up to a 19 armor class. But we're still not quite done bumping that. So we go back, level up, we're going to level 6. And we're starting to get into that Kush level zone. Going to level 6. Hey, yeah, awesome. And we get new infusions, 2 to be exact. And there's one that we absolutely have to have, the Repulsion Shield, because it gives a +1 to our armor class, so that's 20. And it has 4 charges that after being hit, if they hit you, you can expend a charge and blast that attacker 15 feet away, and it regenerates 1d4 at dawn. So you can actually make the bastards pay for hitting you and open up that gap a little bit. Now, for the other one, it would not be inadvisable to do any of these. To be honest, the lantern of revealing is just a good strategic voice of logic. But so is the spell fueling ring. Yes, sir. Because who wants a free slot of third or lower? And at this level, we get tool expertise. If you're proficient in it, you're automatically an expert in it. And spells, we're back to level 2 spells. So what else can we get? What else can we get? No, there is one. Oh, they must have taken it off. Oh well. See, invisibility, no thank you. Arcane lock, no. Rope trick is a good way to get the hell out of dodge if you need to, real quick. And now for this one, this is a more a flavor spell for me than anything, but enlarge reduce. And you'll see why later. protection from poison. I already as a Warforged, you're already resistant against poisons, but some of the other people aren't. Aid would be good for self heals, and web is a good tactical. Period. End of story. Now the one thing we don't want is spider climb. It is absolutely useless to us. And if you did, for some reason, take the lantern or revealing, see invisibility is also absolutely useless to us. So we're just going to choose some random ones. Magic weapons are useless to us because our weapons are automatically magical due to our infusion. Alter self. Awesome. After 11, great, awesome, sweet. Now keep building. Now, this next level up, this is the magic level for us. After this is where we peak out and we just keep going. Like I said, this was a very somewhat early game breaker. And it is, because here's why. Level 7, you get a very all artificers get a very powerful ability called Flash of Genius. And I'll show you here in a second. Flash of Genius. You've gained the ability to come up with solutions under pressure. When you or another creature you can see is within 30 feet of you who makes an ability check or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to add your intelligence modifier to that roll. And you can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence roll. So this is why I'm saying you want to try and get your intelligence as high as you can. Granted, I really didn't do that in this, but there are items that will boost your intelligence, and that counts. And you regenerate all the expended uses of it as you finish a long rest. Now, here's the thing. Like you just said, any ability check or a save, like that dexterity saving throw, you have to make on spells like Fireball. And with Shield Master, oh my god, you just negated Fireball on you. And you didn't even have to use the level 3 spell slot for a counter spell. It's a passive thing, as long as you have that shield in hand. But for spells, doesn't matter. Nothing you choose will outweigh the gift from the gods you just got. Apply changes. Awesome. So, we're level 19, or level 7, 19 armor class in starting gear with a starting shield. Now, we're assuming by level 7, we're going to have a little bit of gold. And for this armor, you're going to want something very important to boost your defense even higher, and that is plate armor. Straight up, not half plate doesn't help us, but straight up plate armor. Awesome. See, right there, that's a 21. But it's actually 22 now that we have repulsion shield. And for a level 7 with practically nothing in constitution, we have a good hit point. So straight up, if you go just purely numbers, you can pretty much just say nope to almost any attack. Even, and here's the exception, barring a adult breath attack from an adult dragon, just the AC alone, they will have trouble. That adult dragon will have a little bit of trouble trying to hit you. And you know what? Even if it does use its breath weapon, you can negate it and take no damage from it because a shield master are relatively high dexterity, and you can use Flash of Genius on it because it is a save. And like I said, all of this at level 7. And with that, after that, you can split off multi-class to anything you want. I just want to go into fighter because a lot of the abilities would be negated. You wouldn't get any benefit from them because you already have them, with the exception of action surge or um, a fighting style. But if you really just want to tell your DM to go fuck himself, bring this. Bring that, and you will not have any issues. Granted, charm effects, yeah, he's screwed. But only if you roll really low and you don't use Flash of Genius. So, with that, this build, for at least this part of it, to make him like the ultimate tank, is done. I mean, you have options, lots of options. If you wanted to go straight toe to toe on the front line and just stay there and be a brick wall, enlarge or reduce yourself up to like a large creature, now you are quite literally just a barrier taking out the entire advanced party on a hallway. They have to try to get through you while you are still got your shield and you are just raining down hammer blows and sword strikes. You want to go into range. Awesome. You got magic missile. You got heat metal. You got shatter. So it's actually pretty good. Like the only real issue is, that relatively low uh, intelligence. But that's okay. It's okay. You're not going to be good at everything, but you are going to make sure they have to work to get around you. And with that, I hope you had at least some fun. Hope you had some insight brought in. If you want to play this character, let me know how it works for you. And with that, this demon will see you at the next crossroad.